Hi, everybody. This is Mark Holzer, and I am recording a session in drawing that we are going to conduct for the veterans for one of Art for the Journey's, one of our programs. And I'm just going to be real casual about this. And the reason I'm doing this video is so that the people that are going to be participating in the program have an opportunity to look at this and get a sense of what we're going to do before we do it. So what we're doing today is drawing a very basic face, a human face. And we're going to do Mr. Regular Face. These dimensions that are on this face here are the classical dimensions that would be the average of everybody in the world. You know, this is the average. Everybody in the world would have the eyes here, the nose here, the lips here, you know, the head this way, and, you know, these different dimensions. And then what we're going to do is actually try to take Mr. Regular Guy here and to come as close as we can to a real face. And I know this guy's a movie star somewhere out there. I don't know what his name is. Maybe you do, but that's going to be the goal for today's session. Now I'm going to set him aside for a minute, and we're going to look at some of our materials that we'll be using. You can use a pencil. This is a number 2 pencil. And as you can see, I've kind of whittled it down a little bit to give me some, you know, some ability to do some shading and that on the side. I also have another pencil that I'm going to use as the instructor for this session. It's got a little bit darker mark to it so that you can see that more easily on your monitor there. So, and you'll need an eraser. I've got, because we'll be doing some erasing as we go through this. Now I have something called a kneaded eraser here, which, you know, is an eraser that you can kind of push around and turn into any kind of a shape that you want. I'll be using this as my eraser, but you can also use the eraser, you know, at the back of the pencil and do your erasing that way. The reason I'm going to use this one is because my marks will probably be a little darker than yours. So let's get started. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out with some very simple grid lines. Now, you can take a ruler and you can use a ruler to do it. You know, something like this. And very light. One that way. And then I'll put one about where the center of the head's going to be, maybe right about here. And that'll give me kind of a target to shoot for as I make my head. Now, the first thing we're going to do is draw an egg. The head is roughly the size, or at least the shape, of an egg. So if I was to come down here, and this is going to be the center here, I might come something like this. And let's see, if I come around like this, as you can see, I'm having a little bit of, I don't know if that is really in the center, so I might just take this. Like I said, it's good that we bring our erasers with us. And then I also might widen this out just a little bit. So I basically get my egg. what I'm going to do is kind of make a strong mark here. Come as close as I can. And then I got my eraser here, see, and I can get rid of some of those other lines. I don't like that. It's not perfect, but you know, nothing is in this world. So this is where I can start. Then I'm going to take a look at our picture of the face there. And as you'll notice, there are lines going this way. So we've got vertical lines and we've got a couple of horizontal lines. So I'm going to put those lines in using, again, my handy dandy here. And the first one, of course, we've already put in, which is the line that's pretty close to the center. I could probably bring this down a little bit, and I might when I start doing my revisions. But we've got a couple of other lines going this way. There's a point that's midway between this point and the bottom of the chin. And you'll notice it over here. It's this line here. So I'm going to put that line in. I'm just going to kind of guess as to about where the center is. It's about right there. So I'll take my little ruler here thing and I'll put my line across there. Then there's another line just below this that is where the lips go. So again, it's midway between the chin and that other line I just made. So I'm just going to put another line through here like this. So those are my horizontal lines. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines that are going to go up the side of the face. And we're going to start, I'll just start on the outside like this, and we'll go this way. And I'll start over here. Might as well just see if I can do it as best I can this way. Again, it's a light line. Now this is the center line, and we've got basically, let's see, one, that center line threw me off. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The center line is useful when you're making your egg, but after that, we probably ought to just get rid of it because it's confusing or can be confusing for what we're doing. All right, so we've got our grid lines in place now. And so what I think we want to do, and I'm going to get this straightened out again here too. We're going to go ahead and draw the features of the face. So we're going to start out with the eyes. At this point, we know that these are where the eyes go. And each one of these columns is supposed to be equally equidistant. And so what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of a liberty here. We'll draw that eye in kind of like this. And we'll put it in like that. And I'll do the same thing over here. We'll kind of come over here. I like to come back around a little bit, and then we'll put the other eye in. And so we've got our two eyes. Not too bad. And so let's go from the eyes. And let's go ahead and put a nose in there. And you can see over here, the bottom of the nose is this line right here. So I can go in here like this and kind of create my nose. There we go, get that right. Play with it a little bit. That's where our nose goes. And then we have the lips in here. And this line is actually where the lips come together. So the upper lip is going to look something like this. And the lower lip is going to come down something like that. And then we got the little center thing right here. And there he is. Now, the next thing we're going to do are the ears. And you can see here that the ear basically starts at the bottom of the nose and goes up to the center of the eyes. And of course, like, you know, everybody is different, and people's ears might come up this way, up as high as here. And then also it depends on, you know, the position of the face as to how the ears look relative to the eyes. But for a general idea, we can put the ears in here. And so we'll just take here, looks like sort of a, I don't know, peanut. It almost looks like a peanut to me, but anyway, and we do the same thing here. So I got my little face here. Looks pretty close to what we got over there. Now I can do some adjusting, and we will do some adjusting once we get going as far as trying to convert Mr. Regular Face here into Mr. Movie Star. This is Mr. Movie Star. Stick him up here. Or maybe I can just hold him like this for a little bit. Well, one of the first things that we notice about Mr. Movie Star here is that he's got hair, which is convenient because I think if I was probably to measure this distance relative to this distance, this might be a little higher. So let me start out by, I'm going to just go ahead and put something that begins to resemble his hairline. And I also want to be thinking about the reality that his face is a little longer than this one. So I might want to begin to push this face in a little bit and just sort of do some free forming around that. So I could take this, move it out like this, and these then become his cheeks. This, and then he's got that kind of a squarish jaw. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of free forming it like that. And then taking, you know, where this hairline kind of comes in over here. And we've got the same type of thing going on here. And that side of his face really kind of comes in there. And then he's got this really squarish jaw. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to start erasing some of the standard lines that make up Mr. Average Face. And I'm also going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to, we've got a hairline out here, but I think that I want to bring these ears in a little bit. So as you can see, I'm pretty much going to keep them in the same place, just move them in. And we'll do the same thing over here. something like that. The other thing I'm going to do is make a few changes up here, because really his hairline kind of comes up like this and then kind of goes over and then kind of comes down like this and then kind of comes out and then goes down something like that. And